When talking about the Lakers right now, their front court, it's amazing. They got Anthony Davis, they got Marc Gasol, they got Montrezl Harrell, but imagine if there was one more center that would make their front court a true nightmare. In this video, we're going to be talking about the Lakers, talking about one big man that I believe they must target to fill up the roster by the end of the season and before the playoffs. Besides Anthony Davis, the Lakers don't really have a center that is mainly focused on protecting the rim, and I believe this center would make the Lakers front court defensively something nobody can get around. So if you're a big Laker fan and want to know who this player is and why I believe he's a perfect fit, you're gonna love this video. But quickly, before I get on with the video, I just want to say, if you're new to the channel and love basketball, welcome to ezBUCKETz. My name is Soom and I make basketball videos every single day, so be sure to hit the subscribe button and click this button right here, the post notification bell, to not miss any of my upcoming videos. If you watched this video and you loved it, be sure to smash that thumbs up button, guys. I would really appreciate it. It would help out the channel a lot. But without wasting any more time, let's talk about the Lakers and the perfect player they should target.
In terms of what will our approach will be to be aggressive, I think there's a handful of teams that probably hope to contend or be in a position to contend, and we're not going to just sit back and not expect others that are in that position to be trying to better their rosters and better their teams. So we have to stay aggressive. I think the danger of winning is complacency, and we won't allow that to creep in here. We're going to try to continue to improve our team and put Coach Vogel and his staff in the best possible position to defend. And our owner, Jeannie Buss, has given us all the resources at hand to do that, and so we'll be aggressive in making sure that we increase that probability as high as we possibly can to get number 18.
By watching that video of Rob Pelinka talking about the Lakers and what they plan on doing, he basically said the Lakers mean business and they're not gonna stop improving their roster. When talking about the Lakers roster right now and their main rotation, you can obviously say that they're already a good team, they already have a good chance of winning the championship. But I'm gonna tell you guys this, in life, there's always room for improvement, even if you're the best. I love this attitude by Rob Pelinka and how the Lakers are going to be focusing on this year. They're still going to be aggressive and not just lay back and do nothing about it. One thing to know is that it's not something hidden that the Lakers are targeting one more player to fill out their final roster spot, and as of right now, people believe the Lakers are focusing on a third center behind Marc Gasol and Montrezl Harrell. When talking about the Lakers last season, a big part of their championship run was their defensive anchor at that center position behind Dwight Howard and JaVale McGee, and after the Lakers lost both of those big men who are strong defenders and strong rim protectors, the Lakers currently don't truly have a defensive identity in that criteria. And with that being the case, I believe I have the perfect center in mind that would fill that spot perfectly, and right now, from that player situation, it looks like it's something very possible and very likely. The player that I'm talking about, and I strongly believe the Lakers should target, is Hassan Whiteside, currently of the Sacramento Kings. When you hear about Hassan Whiteside or know about his game, being a giant, a 7-foot monster on the defensive end, being one of the greatest shot blockers in the NBA, that is what comes to our mind. We're talking about Hassan Whiteside. Last year he played for the Portland Trail Blazers for 1 year, and honestly, he had a monster season. He averaged 15 points, 13 rebounds, and a league-leading 2.9 blocks per game. Hassan Whiteside was literally a defensive nightmare for any NBA team playing against him. But after the Portland Trail Blazers ended up getting Jusuf Nurkic back, Hassan Whiteside didn't find a true role to be a main center in the NBA, and he entered free agency hoping to sign a contract where he would be a starter or just be an impactful center for whatever his role is. And guys, to keep it real with you all, Hassan Whiteside's current situation is not the best for him. During free agency, no NBA team truly showed interest in Hassan Whiteside, so he ultimately signed with the team that drafted him, the Sacramento Kings, to a 1-year minimum contract. The fact that Hassan Whiteside came from a 15, 13, and 3 blocks per game season now to a minimum contract, it shows his value in the NBA and what teams truly think about him. If you watch Hassan Whiteside play, despite his amazing fantasy basketball numbers, I'll be honest, he's just not the most mature center you would want in your locker room and in your roster. And from what it looks like right now, Hassan Whiteside is entering that area in his career where he has to take a step back, recap his career so far, and look towards how he can be better and how he can end up being officially in an NBA rotation once again. He's one of the most athletic centers in the NBA, one of the best defenders, but his attitude and personality is just not what team wants. He's not humble. And if you look at the past Sacramento Kings game, Hassan Whiteside didn't really even play. He's averaging 5 points per game, 5 rebounds, 1 block, only playing less than 10 minutes. Hassan Whiteside is no longer in the Kings rotation because Richaun Holmes and Marvin Bagley and even Nemanja Bjelica are running the front court right now. And if Hassan Whiteside somehow becomes available for any NBA team, I believe the Lakers must target him. I mentioned earlier that when talking about Montrezl Harrell and Marc Gasol, these two are elite big men. They're very special in their specific roles and their specific play style, but one thing's for sure, both are not strong rim protectors. They're not truly a defensive anchor when it comes to shot blocking. And with the Lakers currently looking for depth and looking to improve their roster to literally secure their 18th NBA championship, I believe getting Hassan Whiteside as the third option center behind Marc Gasol and Montrezl Harrell would guarantee them a better chance at that championship. And I do believe the Lakers have interest in him. But there are 2 ways the Lakers can get Hassan Whiteside, and I'm going to tell you both scenarios. The first option has to do with the Kings and Hassan Whiteside both agreeing on a buyout. The Kings will ultimately end up waiving Hassan Whiteside. If this is the case, any NBA team will have the right to sign Hassan Whiteside, and I believe the Lakers must be one of those teams because Whiteside would easily become the best center available because you've seen his potential, you've seen how good he can be, it's just playing in the right situation. I believe playing for the Lakers, playing under LeBron James, Hassan Whiteside can slowly mature and be a part of a winning organization, and that would help him develop to be a more established center where more NBA teams would really, fight for him and really want him. I believe this is the best possible scenario for the Lakers if the Kings ultimately end up waiving Hassan Whiteside and literally the Lakers can sign him to a minimum contract and they waive one of their own players. But the other way the Lakers can get Hassan Whiteside is if the Lakers end up trading for Whiteside. And honestly, I wouldn't want that to happen because I believe the Kings won't just give him away for cheap. But if this is the only way possible, there are some potential packages that could land Whiteside. With Hassan Whiteside only signing a minimum contract for 1 year, the Lakers can also offer up one of their minimum contract players. They could offer up Jared Dudley, potentially Quinn Cook, potentially Alfonso McKinney, even Markieff Morris. You never know. The Kings might want a specific role player at a specific position that might be able to land Whiteside. One thing's for sure, the Kings right now don't value Whiteside. He's not in the rotation, so maybe they're going to trade him instead of losing him for nothing. There is a potential possibility that the Sacramento Kings might want Alex Caruso or Talen Horton-Tucker, and honestly, I know you guys out there don't want the Lakers to trade those two. Those two are their young prime pieces and they're role players for the future, but I'm gonna ask you guys a question. If the Lakers could trade Talen Horton-Tucker or Caruso for Whiteside in a 1-for-1 trade that guarantees you a championship this year, would you do it? Would you pull the trigger? Let me know your thoughts on that. But these are the only 2 ways that I believe the Lakers can ultimately get Hassan Whiteside. I ultimately believe this, the Lakers would have a monster nightmare front court if they end up getting Whiteside. Just imagine a duo at the power forward and center of Anthony Davis and Hassan Whiteside in one rotation in one lineup. Guys, that would be a nightmare. Imagine you being on the opposing team, driving to the basket, and having 2 rim protectors, 2 elite rim protectors, trying to block you. That would be insane. That would be scary. So ultimately, to end off my video, I believe the Lakers should target Hassan Whiteside and keep a close eye on him. But if the Lakers ultimately don't end up getting Hassan Whiteside and there are other center options, I believe there are some centers that are still available in free agency. There's Dwayne Dedmon, there's Skal Labissiere. I believe those two are also great options. But for now, I'm putting Hassan Whiteside as a prime target if he enters the buyout market. So ultimately, guys, this wraps up my video for today on the Los Angeles Lakers and why I believe they should target Whiteside. What's most important to me is one of your opinions. Do you agree with me on this one? Do you not? Is this a good move? Put your thoughts in the comment section down below. But other than that, take it easy. God bless. And I'll see you all next time on ezBUCKETz. Woo!